Yay Networks.
13 has been my lucky number for a while. Like, it's always a sign of good things to come for me.
This is 13, a Taylor Swift fan podcast, breaking down every song, every Easter egg, every era, and every theory. Hosted by the biggest Swifties, Nick Adams, Anna Casillejos, Amy Nichols, and Lacey G.
Welcome to 13, a Taylor Swift fan podcast. My name's Nick Adams.
Amy. And I'm Lacey G.
Amy? Do you say I'm Amy? Amy?
I do. I usually just say Amy. Anna's not here today.
Anna's not here. Anna's not here. She's golfing. She's golfing today.
Oh, no. She had work obligations.
It's for it's a charity event, so I'm not hating on Anna at all.
Yes. And I'm so
sad she's not here for this one.
I hate that we're doing this song without her.
Did she give us a little soundbite?
She is.
Okay.
We will have one.
Okay.
So we will be hearing from Anna, but unfortunately, she's not in with us right now, which just hurts me because this is such a Taylor Swift classic. We're breaking down Long Live.
I know, it's great, isn't it? We are breaking down track number 14. We're getting close to being done with Speak Now, Taylor's version.
Not because we're rolling them out how we normally roll them out, because we are swiftly, trying to get through so we can be in time, ready to go for 1989 re-release.
Yeah, we got to hustle. That was me using a sports reference.
Oh.
That's a
sports reference?
This is why I do a Taylor Swift podcast.
What is hustle in sports?
Hustle
You
up.
have to hustle. You got to hustle. Do you know what hustle means?
Yes.
What's it mean?
hustle all the time.
Okay.
Work hard. I didn't know that was
Sure.
a sports reference.
Well, hustle, yes, it means work hard.
Uh-huh.
But it also means like run fast, like go from point A to point B quickly.
Is that
You know what
a
I mean? So,
sports
like,
term, or are you just talking
gotta
about
hustle.
you got to hustle those football boys? You got to hustle those legs to be faster.
Hustle moves fast. So you gotta. We're
say-
hustling through. We're pumping these episodes out. We're going fast. We're hustling.
That word is used a lot on the sidelines, I'm sure. That's
Yeah,
why Nick
hustle.
says it. Yeah.
Hustle.
Oh, okay. Because I use it as a side hustle because I got all kind of side hustles going on, and I'm constantly my brain's trying to think of other things. So I'm hustling, just not in any sort of sports way, none whatsoever. I didn't realize that was a sports term.
Now you know.
Now I know. Now I
you
know.
Yeah, so we're going to be breaking down Long Live. It was written by Taylor Swift. Isn't that great? We can say that on this whole album. Just by Taylor Swift. How wonderful. So
It was the last track on the standard version of Taylor's 2010 album. And now...
number 14.
Yeah, then she had deluxe versions that came out. And now, of
The
course,
vaults.
we have the From the Vault editions. So what is this song about? This song is a fan favorite, absolutely beautiful, and it was inspired by a moment that Taylor shared with her band backstage on the final date of the Fearless Tour at Gillette Stadium in 2010. She had the melody for the chorus stuck in her head the entire night and wrote Long Live soon after. In a since deleted post on her website, Taylor said, "Long Live, in parentheses, we will be remembered," is the first song where I've ever had parentheses in the title, which is hilarious because now most of her songs have parentheses in the title because it's Taylor's version. But besides that, though, this song is all about my band and my producer and all of the people who have helped us build this brick by brick. The fans, the people who I feel are in this all together. This song talks about the triumphant moments that we've had in the last 2 years. We've had times where we jump up and down and dance like we don't care how we're dancing and just scream at the top of our lungs, "How is this happening?" And I feel very lucky to even have one of these moments. Nonetheless, all the ones that I got to have. Long Live is about how I feel reflecting on it. This song for me is like looking at a photo album of all the award shows and all the stadium shows and all the hands in the air of the crowd. It's sort of the first love song that I've written to my team.
I love that.
You know, since you say stadium just there and that, I hope I'm not like jumping ahead too far. But I got to say, in recent Taylor Swift events, the night that she added this song to the Eras tour, was huge.
It was.
It was a monumental moment. Dare I say, like, the biggest moment of the tour since she started the tour.
Starting July 7th is the day that she added it.
Yes.
July 7th, Taylor added Long Live to the Speak Now section of her Eras tour. Earlier that weekend, she had re-released Speak Now Taylor's version, and to mark the occasion, she debuted a new dress and brought out her beloved koi guitar.
I know. And so there were all these rumors about the guitar because it was in a museum. It was like behind glass in Nashville. It was in a museum. And so there were all these pictures of people removing that guitar from the display in the museum. And this was like a day or two before she debuted on tour. And so fans were just going nuts. They were like, something's happening with that koi guitar. Something's happening. That's the guitar that she played on the Speak Now tour originally. Like, something is happening. And then Enchanted, the song ends. And normally Taylor walks off stage. She leaves because she goes to the next era. Not this time. She stayed. And as soon as she just like stayed on stage, fans were flipping out. And then all of a sudden, there's all these stage hands dressed in black. They come up and one of them puts like a microphone in front of her. And then someone hands her the guitar and the crowd is going nuts. I'm telling you, it was a monumental time in recent Swiftie history. So cool.
And it was very nostalgic because she had her band standing next to her, which that comes up later in the song.
Yeah.
With something,
so cool.
it was something cute that happened.
And to sing this song that's a love letter to your fans on the biggest stage of her life to that point, on the biggest tour, possibly the biggest tour in history, what will most likely become that, is what an incredible moment just for her to be like, I wrote this song so long ago for my fans. Here I am singing it, and my career is bigger than ever because of these fans in the crowd.
Because of you. Yeah.
So Taylor included this song on her set list for the Speak Now World Tour. She performed it every tour date as the last song before the encore. And then she performed it during last dates of her Red Tour and 1989 World Tour. And then on the Reputation Stadium Tour, she performed this song on the piano along with a mashup of New Year's Day, which was really cool. And I found now these comments were from 2 years ago. And I hope these people, all of them, has been to the Eras Tour now. But I found this really funny write-up on Reddit. Fearless94 said, I ugly cried to the Long Live New Year's Day mashup at the Rep Tour. I couldn't believe she was playing one of my favorite songs from so many years ago. Now I have a reason to believe not going to Rep was the biggest regret of my life. And someone else chimed in and said, right there with you to the Rep Regrets Club, because people were regretting not going to Reputation, and then the world shut down before Loverfest, and now she's back. So I really hope these people who commented this on Reddit, that was a big regret of theirs, I hope that they've been to the Eras Tour a couple of times.
And if not, there's always the movie that's coming out. They'll see it.
Yeah.
Should we start going through this love letter to fans?
Yes.
She starts off by saying, I said remember this moment in the back of my mind. She's telling herself, man, whatever's happening, whatever she's singing about is so good. Remember this. We've all done that.
Oh, sure.
Remember this moment. Are y'all saying that right now?
Yes.
And being in this room?
Oh,
with me?
I'm singing it in my head. I'm sorry. I'm singing remember this moment.
In the back of my mind, the time we stood with our shaking hands, the crowds in the stands went wild. We were the kings and the queens. And they read off our names.
Which is referring to winning awards, because then Taylor's winning the awards, even though she's starting to push back and do different genres and kind of be her own artist and step out of her comfort zone and do what she wants instead of doing what the industry wanted her to do. And then she's still winning. She's doing what feels right to her, not to be successful, but because this feels right. But because she's Taylor Swift, what feels right to her does end up being success. But seemingly then she's going against the grain. But she's still winning the awards and they're reading off their names.
Yeah, it sounds like she's singing about several different things here in this first verse. So the time we stood with our shaking hands and the crowds and the stands went wild. Next thing, we were the kings and the queens and they read off our names.
And that's because she won Entertainer of the Year for the first time.
And then the next thing she sings about, the night you danced like you knew our lives would never be the same. Another thing she sings about, you held your head like a hero on a history book page. It was the end of a decade, but the start of an age.
This song just brings me so much joy. Just to know that that's Taylor backstage, because we've all seen the videos of her taking out her earphone, whatever that thing is.
Earpiece.
Earpiece, thank you. They can't hear with it in, and she'll take it out and hear the crowds and just the look on her face to see everybody so happy and screaming, and to know that young, unsure Taylor was backstage at the end of Fearless Tour thinking this was going to be it, y'all. She thought that she was aging out of the industry, that she wasn't going to have a career, that this could be it. And this was her thank you sign-off letter to her fans, because she would never forget the response that she got from people.
The energy.
Long live the walls we crashed through. How the kingdom lights shined just for me and you. Just for us. Me and you. Me and the fans. I was screaming, long live all the magic we made, and bring on all the pretenders. One day we'll be remembered.
We will be remembered. I said, remember this feeling. Okay, I'm not going to sing.
Yeah, she moves on to the second verse. I said, remember this feeling. I passed the pictures around of all the years we stood there on the sidelines wishing for right now. So here it is. This is the dream. We're doing it. We're going to go in. We're going to step on the field.
She thought
Sports
this was
reference.
the peak, too.
Yeah.
Thank you for the reference,
Sports
Nick.
reference. She's stepping on the field.
Yeah. She's like, this is it. This is what we were wishing for. And she has no idea she's not even at the top yet.
We are the kings and the queens. You traded your baseball cap for a crown. When they gave us our trophies, we held them up for our town. Oh, here we go. Calling out the haters here. And the cynics were outraged, screaming, that's absurd. Screaming, Beyonce had the best video of all time. Oh, that's not a lyric, sorry. And the cynics were outraged, screaming, this is absurd. Because for a moment, a band of thieves in ripped up jeans got to rule the world.
Oh.
So who's a band of thieves in ripped up jeans? Is that you?
It was her team. It was her band. Whenever she won Entertainer of the Year, she called her band on stage, and they didn't want to go on stage with her because they were underdressed. And she insisted that they all join her on stage for the 2009 CMA Awards for Entertainer of the Year, even though they were underdressed. So she said, I don't care. Y'all need to come up here. So
you
then
need to
she
be
kind of,
recognized, not to embarrass them. Like,
Well-
let's recognize all your hard work.
We
You
did this
belong.
together.
You
This is a
belong up here with me.
Yeah.
Belong with.
you're the reason that we are successful. So you're going to come up here. So that was a little jab at her band, who was like, no, I don't want to go up on stage. You're going up on stage. This award is for us.
Well, it's to the cynics who are screaming, this is absurd that they're up there, right?
Are they screaming it's absurd that Taylor won, or are they screaming it's absurd that she's bringing the Riff Raff band on stage?
That her and the Riff Raff are
Gotcha.
up.
That they
I would
didn't,
assume.
Yeah, that they didn't get her. Why this girl who can't sing, according to the mean guy, I can't remember his name, and he's not important,
Doesn't
but
matter.
people didn't want her to be successful, yet she still was successful. And the critics were outraged. Well, I read Rolling Stone included Taylor in its 2012 Women Who Rock list, who detailed 50 of the fiercest albums that female rock and rollers have given the world. Speak Now came in at number 45 on the list, and the magazine called Long Live, quote, the best Bon Jovi song Bon Jovi never wrote.
Interesting. Okay. Never thought I'd hear that comparison. All right.
Yeah. So take that, critics. I believe that is a compliment coming from Rolling Stone.
It is a compliment.
Yeah.
Long live the walls we crashed through, how the kingdom lights shined just for me and you. I was screaming, long live all the magic we made.
And bring on all the pretenders. I'm not afraid.
Long live all the mountains we moved. I had the time of my life fighting dragons with you. I was screaming, long live the look on your face and bring on all the pretenders.
One day we will remember. I am trying so hard to not sing. I'm physically
Well, you're
trying.
not. You're failing.
Hey, you're lucky.
I'm not mad at you.
You're lucky you're
Sing
just
along.
getting these little snippets. But now here we go.
You want to go for it?
Well, no, but I'm gonna try to speak it. I can't. Hold on to spinning around. This one always messes me up. I know it's confetti, and I am an avid confetti lover. I keep
That's true.
confetti cannons on me at all times, just for bad mood purposes.
You
For
Yeah.
bad mood, for celebration.
I want to say I've seen you post more than once on social media. It's like a Tuesday afternoon. And you just like set one off in your backyard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And in the last month, you've brought them up here a couple of times.
Yes.
We're like, all right.
My neighbors they're just used to it. I've set it off in my backyard and accidentally seen the wind just bring everything over to my neighbor's house, and I didn't realize they were home, and sure enough they come outside and they're like, "Hey, what is that?" And I'm like, "Oh, hey, sorry, it's Tuesday afternoon and I was just shooting off a confetti cannon. You want one?" And they're like, "Yeah." And then my other neighbors have a pool, and I have gone next door and knocked and said, "Hey, I'm really sorry, but I just shot off a confetti cannon and it all went in your yard. Do you want me to go clean up your pool?" And my neighbor is a nice British lady, and she thinks I'm adorable. I don't know why, because her backyard is a mess because of me. But she said, "No, darling, you're fine." But anyway,
You mean her garden? It's her garden.
yes.
They don't have a backyard.
It-
British
yes.
people, they
Oh,
have
thank
gardens.
you
Yes,
for
they're the
letting
garden
me
Like they
know.
just call the grass gardens.
Oh,
Like it's
wow.
not just the flower beds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Or like
I
didn't know
planting
that.
carrots. Yeah, I think they just like in the back garden.
But it says confetti falls to the ground.
So you have a misheard lyric?
Confetti. In my head, it's always spaghetti
Yeah, I think it's
falls to the ground. May these memories break our fall.
maybe spaghetti did fall to the ground. Maybe she was cooking spaghetti. She threw it up on the wall to see if it was ready, if the spaghetti was ready right, and it just fell off the cabinet.
Is
It
that
fell
a
the
thing to
ground.
see if spaghetti's ready?
Yeah, if it sticks to the wall, it
For
means
real?
it means it's ready.
Well, because I've thrown my dad is my stepdad. But he raised me and I consider him to be my father. But whenever I first met my stepdad, he was 21 years old. He's significantly younger than my mom. He was 21 years old, and me and my brother were staying over at his house, and we were young, but we're like elementary school. And I got in trouble for throwing spaghetti. He lived in an apartment. Single man, 21, in an apartment. And I was throwing spaghetti up on
Where
his
else
ceiling
do-
because I thought it was.
Where else do young professionals,
Well,
young
now-
men live?
Well,
Yeah,
now.
you suppose you live in like a 5,000 square foot house?
But anyways, he probably didn't want me there because I was throwing spaghetti at the ceiling and I got caught, and he had to get all the spaghetti down. Like I had gotten enough up there before
You're only
he
supposed
noticed.
to throw one strand, Lacey.
But I thought it was cool that it stuck, so I was just like throwing spaghetti up on the ceiling. But the lyric is confetti falls to the ground.
And she does this at the end of her tour.
It's
all of her
fun.
tours
Yeah,
is
yeah.
the big confetti. Every tour.
This episode is sponsored by BetterHelp.
Don't you just hate it whenever life is tricky and keeping you up at night and you just stay awake with your problems, just bad thoughts repeating in your head over and over and possibly preventing you from being able to enjoy your life? Do you ever think that as you're trying to fall asleep and your brain suddenly won't stop talking, that maybe you should talk to somebody, and maybe that somebody you should talk to is our friends at BetterHelp?
How great is it that you can get therapy now and you don't have to drive all the way across town? You can do it right from the comfort of your own home. So no more waiting in an uncomfortable waiting room. No more taking up tons of time of your day. You can do it right from the comfort of your own couch. You can do it in your car if you want to. You can do it while you're on vacation. BetterHelp can give you therapy when you need it and where you need it.
I love that my therapist at BetterHelp has helped me with my positive coping skills and how to set boundaries. She'll also talk me down whenever I get caught in that negative thought cycle and is able to help me find some mental and emotional peace.
If you're thinking of starting therapy, give BetterHelp a try. It's entirely online, designed to be convenient, flexible, and suited to your schedule. Just fill out a brief questionnaire to get matched with a licensed therapist and switch therapists anytime for no additional charge.
Make your brain your friend with BetterHelp. Visit betterhelp.com/Taylor Swift fan today to get 10% off your first month. Again, that's BetterHelp, HELP.com/Taylor Swift fan.
What do you love more? Confetti or bubbles? Or am I the only one who likes both? You've got to, I mean, everybody loves confetti, right?
Bubbles are sorry. If I have to choose one, it's not like I have anything against confetti unless I live next door to you.
Yeah, I'm going to say bubbles. Bubbles, less cleanup.
Okay, good call. Because I would definitely say confetti first and then bubbles second, but I love bubbles too.
Bubbles are great.
Yeah.
Will you take a moment, promise me this, that you'll stand by me forever?
Yes.
But if God forbid,
Fate
should step in and force us into a goodbye.
If
you have children someday, when they point to the pictures, please tell them my name.
Please tell them my name.
Tell them how the crowds went wild. Tell them how I hope they shine. Long live all the walls we crashed through.
I had the time of my life with you.
Long live the walls we crashed through, how the kingdom lights shine just for me and you. And I was screaming, long live all the magic we made. Bring on all the pretenders.
I'm not afraid.
Sing long live all the mountains we moved. I had the time of my life fighting dragons with you. And long live the look on your face. And bring on all the pretenders. One day, we will be remembered.
Which is just classic. Because here is Taylor saying farewell. Farewell. It's been a good run. This is it for me. One day we will be remembered. Now, Taylor Swift is going to be in every history book. She is top notch. She's not just an entertainer. She's the entertainer. She is easily, number one at her craft. And she's saying one day we'll be remembered. No, honey, everybody knows you. Everybody knows everything that you do. And I love the fact that this song is so old, yet she's still showing her positivity when she's saying, if you have children someday and they point to the pictures, please tell them my name. Tell them how the crowds went wild. But then she turns it around. Tell them that I hope they shine.
Mm-hmm.
That I'm speaking out to future people and saying, I hope you shine. She's still trying to spread her positivity back then.
It's so cool because she's been doing this for 17 years and going on the Eras tour. The people who grew up with Taylor are now bringing their kids, and you see all the videos of them sharing that moment with their kids and turning their little kids into Swifties, and it's just so sweet to see.
Hey, I've turned my daughter into a Swiftie.
Yeah.
She's about to turn 5. She loves singing Enchanted and Love Story and Fearless, and especially in Love Story, when we get to when it changes into he knelt to the ground and pulled out a ring, she makes me be Romeo, and she says you're Romeo, and so I acted out. I kneel down, and I pull out a ring, and I pick her up, and we spin around. It's a great father-daughter memory. It's wonderful.
How often would you say you do that? Every time a song comes on?
More than once a week,
Yeah.
I would say,
Wow.
for sure.
That's so
it's
cute.
usually her idea.
Sure.
Yeah.
This song was...
Nothing that's not sweet. I don't get any sort of
I'm
sweet
sorry.
thing from you, Lacey.
She's
That's
reading.
really sweet. That's really sweet. I'm sorry. I was looking... You know what? Sometimes you do that too. Sometimes you will totally take yourself out of the conversation and be like, I'm sorry, I was looking up something.
Yeah,
I was looking at my notes, okay?
He's
No,
pulling
you're
your
fine.
leg.
I'm joking. Yes, there are
That
times,
is a really sweet memory. And
when I
I'm
just,
sorry that I just did not acknowledge that.
there are times when I'm like, oh, let me look something up real fast. And 5 minutes have passed and I haven't said anything on this podcast.
You know what? If one day we're not together, Nick, and your daughter's looking at pictures and she points at the pictures, please tell her my name.
Oh,
Tell her how the podcast went wild.
podcast
And
went
tell
wild.
her that I hope she shines.
Mhm. Thank you. That's very
That is sweet.
Very kind.
Yeah.
So positive.
Okay, so besides his daughter, moving on.
I hope it's a story about your stepdad. What do we got?
I love you. No, I wanted to give a shout out to our people in Brazil who listen, because did you know there's also a version of this song from the Brazil edition of Taylor Swift's album Speak Now World Tour 2011 with additional Portuguese verses written and performed by the Brazilian artist Paula Fernandez.
That's cool.
Yeah. So I thought that was cool, and I know that we have a bunch of international listeners. I didn't know that there was another version, and that it's cool that she does that for her fans. It's cool that whenever she took the Eras Tour to Mexico, she switched out her dancers, and she had people from the area there. Or if she's going to include Portuguese verses written and performed by a Brazilian artist. I mean, she's just trying to be more inclusive.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, she's catering to the fans, to each of her fans, and I think that that's really cool. Do we want to hear what some people had to say from Reddit?
Let's do it.
Chris said, this song has to be the national anthem of Swifties, par excellence.
Yeah.
Fall Die Wake Fly said, it's originally about her band, the agency, and the experience they had together with her first headlining for Fearless. It was inspired by standing backstage at Gillette Stadium, hearing the crowd scream for them to come out, tell them how the crowd went wild. Over the years, it's become more adopted as more of a general fan song. The secret message in the liner notes was for you, and on Speak Now tour, she used it to dedicate it to the audience, so that's 100% intentional. And it's applicable to about 1 million situations outside of Taylor Swift. Graduations, weddings, proms, anything that involves people coming together and celebrating the time they've spent together. I've had the time of my life fighting dragons with you. Someone else said she wrote it for the band and everybody else involved on her tour. It was her first successful headliner tour, and she was pretty sure that that would be it, and she would never have another success as big as that. And she wanted to commemorate the experience and thank everyone involved in case they never got to do it again. Little did she know.
So we posted on our Instagram account at the 13 Podcast asking for memories and stories about Long Live. And there's several comments on here that are just awesome. First, I have to highlight Ashlyn Eckert. She wrote, I remember crying so hard to this song because it came out around the same time the last Harry Potter movie came out. And if you listen to Long Live through the lens of Harry Potter, it fits perfectly. So they also talk about fighting dragons and stuff like that. Harry Potter does that. Another one, I mean, oh my gosh, this is incredible. Okay, I hope I'm saying this name right. This is from Mike. They wrote, I worked as a junior doctor in the ICU during the pandemic. I have always loved the song, but the meaning really changed for me during that time. Every time I listen to it now, it makes me think of all my incredible teammates that just really kept my head above water. I will never forget fighting dragons with you.
Wow.
Whoa. What a great memory.
Yeah.
And as I'm scrolling, there's like 3 more about Harry Potter. I guess the song really matches up with Potterhead.
I guess so.
Let me see if there's anything
which some
else.
Harry Potter dude died today.
Yeah,
Dumbledore.
Dumbledore.
I started reading the first one with my son, so I do all the voices.
That's
Isn't that cute, Lacey?
That's very cute. I'm glad you shared that.
Nicole Med 8 had this to say. So my misheard lyric for this one was a band of thieves in winter jeans, which made sense to me because she lived in Pennsylvania. It gets cold. Not until Taylor's version did I finally hear the lyrics correctly.
We got another great one from Marley Fryman, who wrote in the comments of our post. She wrote, I was in the car with my family the day Midnights was released. My super amazing and supportive uncle instantly asked me which song we should play from the new Taylor album, which is irrelevant to this specific Taylor song. But 5 months later, my uncle passed away. Every time I hear Long Live, I think of him. When they point to the pictures, please tell them my name. I can't wait to tell my future children about how amazing he was. Aww, send out a supportive uncle.
Yeah.
That's really
really
sweet.
sweet.
So some really great memories and stories on our Instagram if you want to scroll through the captions and add your own.
Yeah, thank you all for sharing.
Well, our girl Anna was not able to join us, but she did want to leave a little something because we hated to do this episode without her. So, Anna, what do you think?
So, over the years, a lot of people have asked me to sort of describe my songwriting process from beginning to end. How long does it take? Where do you write? What are the circumstances? Do you start with music? Do you start with lyrics? And my answer is always that it happens different every time. And that's why I'm still so in love with songwriting. Oh my God. How could I not start a voice memo like that? Are you kidding? Anyway, I have so much FOMO that I am not there to be in the studio to record this episode of Long Live with the podcast, but I will be the first one to listen whenever it is posted. Oh my God, where to even begin about Long Live? How long can this voice memo be? Does this count as my 13-minute solo episode, asking for myself? But yeah, I'm not there. I'm so sorry. Taylor Swift went to like one sporting event, so then I also have to go to a sporting event. I'm at a charity golf tournament today. That's why I'm not there, but that does not matter. You know what's more important than charity? Long Live. Long Live is just, I can't even put into words the amount of love and happiness that song brings to Swifties. We all know that Taylor Swift wrote this song for the fans, that this is a song for the fans. It's so special, and it's a song that I cry when I listen to it, not because it's sad or because it's about, I don't know. I feel like it feels like a warm hug, but even better than that. It's indescribable. It really is. It's Taylor Swift. I think what sets her apart from other artists is her relationship with her fans. And yes, she is one of the biggest pop stars, if not the biggest pop star in the whole world. But the thing is that the relationship that she has formed with her fans, from Swiftmas to Secret Sessions to just stalking us on the internet, to she just has always been such a caring person. And I feel like that's probably why I have always felt like I will have her back no matter what. Because she's had mine. In her music, she has had my back. So I will always have her back. And Long Live is just so special to know that she thought of us when she was writing a song. And also, it's so special that she knows how special it is to us. Like, she knows that we hold it so dear to our hearts. And that's why, you know, whenever she performed it at the Eras Tour with the Koi Fish guitar, that is such an indescribable moment as a Swiftie, just seeing, even though it was like over a grainy live stream that I watched that Koi guitar being brought on stage. It was just, it's like, if you know, you know, but also everyone should know. Does that make sense? And the fact that she stole it from her own museum is actually iconic. And I was in Nashville not that long ago, and I went to the museum thinking maybe it was back since she's on a little bit of a break right now from the tour. But it wasn't, but that's okay. But on our way there, I was telling all of my friends about the Koi Fish guitar. I was like, oh my gosh, it has to be the first thing we see at the museum. It's so important. Here's the history of it. Here's a picture of her with the Koi Fish guitar. It wasn't there, unfortunately. They replaced it with the Anti-Hero guitar that she smashed in the music video, which was still really, really cool to see. But I did also get the chance to see the Koi Fish guitar in real life at the LA show. And it was so unbelievable. I'm really happy that she added Long Live to the set list. And I'm really happy that I was able to attend a show where I got to see that. And it was an out-of-body experience to be in the crowd when she was performing that song. And it's like, I took my phone out to like record a little bit on video, but I like had my phone in my hand, but I was like looking at her with my eyes, because I was like, I need to just like fully live Long Live in this moment. And I'm not gonna cry right now. I'm like literally talking to myself. But I just hope that I know that, you know, obviously Taylor Swift gets a lot of praise and a lot of love, and she knows that we love her, but I genuinely hope that she knows that we just adore her and we're so thankful for her. And I think the way that we treat this song is a way of us showing her how much we appreciate her, if that makes sense. So Long Live is so special, arguably the most special. And I know at the beginning of our Speak Now era, I had mentioned that I had a misheard lyric on Long Live, and it was, I feel embarrassed to share it because it is such a special song that it's like, how could you not know every single word by heart? How did you mishear a lyric in Long Live? But for years, I misheard the part where this is absurd. I used to think that it was, this is our sword, because, or that's absurd. And the cynics were outraged, screaming, this is absurd, or that's absurd. See, I don't even know the correct thing, because I always sing it as this is our sword, because it kind of makes sense, because, you know, she's like fighting dragons and stuff, like sword, fighting, not sword fighting, but like, you know, like you can't see me right now, but I'm like raising up my hand, like as if I was like declaring something like with a sword, like this is our sword. But it doesn't really make that much sense. But I thought it was that for years and years and years. Okay, I'll be honest. I realized that I was wrong whenever we got Taylor's version. There, I said it. Don't hold it against me. But yeah, I'm really excited to listen to this episode and hear what everybody has to say about Long Live. I have thoroughly enjoyed reading everybody's comments on our Instagram at the 13 Podcast, sharing their stories about Long Live. It's so special. It's so special to be part of this community. I love it so much. I love everything. How long has it been? 13 minutes? This was 6 minutes. Shut up. If I lose the song prediction game, this is gonna eat piece of cake. But I'm not gonna lose. I'm gonna take it seriously. Okay. Bye.
Well, thanks so much for joining us for this episode of 13, a Taylor Swift fan podcast. If you haven't already, subscribe to us on whatever podcasting platform you're listening to us on right now. Leave us a 5-star review, leave us a good comment, and join us next time. We're going to be breaking down Hours.
Oh. That sounded more sexual than I meant. I meant like a, oh.
Can you please leave that in?
Thanks for listening to 13, a Taylor Swift fan podcast. Subscribe for free and leave a positive review on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or Google Podcasts.